Hey everybody, we are live from Las Vegas. I want to thank all of you for tuning in. We have a lot of great information we want to cover today. We're going to have a really good speaker. She's put a lot of good information together for all of you to be able to get some information and some nuggets to help you grow your business. Before I do that, what I want to do is I want to really thank many of you that have been participating in writing articles and sharing on your social media posts and all that stuff, because this week it all comes together. I just got off the phone with Zach yesterday. You are going to be absolutely amazed what's coming out this week. Also, for those of you that have been steady posting every single time we've asked you to, you're going to see some tremendous results this week. You're going to see a lot of stuff happening, and I just want to share with you, and I want to thank you for helping us get to where we are today. For those of you that haven't been on the project and don't have an NBC account, you're going to see some stories of people getting leads. You're going to see stories of people getting a lot of stuff happening, because we've tested this out. We've been waiting for it to launch. Now it is completely ready. So for those of you that have been posting every article that we've told you to and helped us get to the ranking, you are going to be well rewarded. So with that, what I want to do is, and I'll cover more information on that as toward the end of the training. But one of the things that we always talk about is every once in a while you get leaders that come on to our organization and they just have it, they just got it, and they feel like they're going to be able to take it to another level. And as soon as I met Mel, I knew that she was going to do some great things, and not just because of her expertise in the fitness industry, and also her expertise in what she does as far as being a personal trainer, but what she's doing for the business side of what we're accomplishing. And one of the things is, with her skill set, she's been very instrumental in helping taking our project to the finish line. So with that, what I want to do is I'm going to bring up Diamond Coach Ms. Batterman.
Good morning. Can you guys hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Today we're going to cover vision, culture, and leadership. And just kind of seeing everything going on over the course of the past year that I've been in the UFT office. We all come into the business and we want to take our business to whatever level that we want to take it. But really what that requires is it requires vision, first and foremost, because if you don't have that, where are you going to go? And then it requires creating a culture within your team, within the UFT, within all of Beachbody. And then for all those things to come about, it's going to take leadership. And so leadership is going to come from you, but it's not just about you leading your team, it's about you leading yourself. And how you're going to lead yourself to then in turn lead your team, which then in turn creates culture and the vision of what you're doing also does that. But you also need to know what your personal vision is to make that happen. And if you're not even aware of that, how can you take a vision that you want to make for your team if you don't even know where you're going? So those are a couple of things that we're going to cover today as we get into this. I'm going to pull up the first slide there. We're going to start rolling. So I want you guys to participate today, so you do not have to be awake. All right. Everybody, I know it's Saturday morning. Some of you haven't, done your morning workout. Who's done a morning workout already? Oh, I like that. And all you guys out there, wave, raise your hands out there at home, or if you're working out and watching this at the same time, that's cool too. So make sure you have a notepad next to you. So anyway, vision, culture, and leadership. That is truly what's going to define the future of you, and it's going to define the future of your business. So I'm going to just read this little quote here. Not much happens without a dream. For something great to happen, there must be a big dream. Behind every great achievement is a dreamer of great dreams. Though the dreamer is required to bring it to reality, the dream must be there first. So think about that. And that's a pretty powerful, powerful quote. So think about back when you came into the business, or even before the business, what got you to the business? What dream did you have that got you to this business? Does anybody want to share anything on that? Some of you guys had no dreams, you just sat there and said, yeah, I'm gonna do this business, this is great. Nothing. No.
I was attracted to the residual income personally because I've always worked my butt off, and I've made good money, but I've had to work long hours, work weekends, and now having a family, the financial freedom and having more time is what attracted me to this.
Awesome. Anybody else?
Attracted me was helping other people as many as I could and showing my time as possible.
Okay, so we have residual income, we have people.
Getting into shape.
Getting into shape.
Commercial,
Awesome, Billy.
Well, mine was mainly for my health,
Okay, so personal health,
personal health and extra income because you can't live on Social Security.
that's true.
Well, mine, and I can understand what you're saying, dream, because I'm new here, but I didn't even know that I was gonna be at Beachbody or what the opportunity was going to be. But I know that I needed to change some things in my life, and so I wanted something, so I put it out there that I want to have some great income, improve my health, and hang out with the grandkids, do those things, and so
So it's
when I
kind
saw
of,
this was like, yeah, I've seen a lot of things, and so this is what I'm going to do.
all right, personal vision.
I want to have a place where animals have homeless people be.
Okay.
Because I think that
All in the
animals,
same house.
in the same acreage, because I think there's a connection between animals and people.
Okay, so we have residual income, we have health and fitness, we have making extra money, knowing I need to change, animals, and homeless. No, that's good. There's nothing wrong with that. That's part of what brings everybody here. So that has to be part of your vision. Maddie?
It's always been my passion to help my friends and family and stuff get in better shape and get more healthy. It's hard when you're not getting paid for it, you're doing it on your own. So to actually get paid to help people do what I want to do, that's just incredible.
That's awesome. Okay.
Freedom and no loss.
Freedom and no boss.
She
just said-
One-time freedom is very accomplished already.
You guys are like mind connected this morning. That's good. All right. So think about all those things. The residual income, time freedom. You just wanted an opportunity because you knew you needed to change, to health and fitness, to taking care of animals. All of those things are part of that vision, okay? And ultimately, we have to create the vision first, okay? All right, good. So we're going to talk first about Beachbody's vision, okay? So Beachbody's mission / kind of vision, this is where their mission comes in because your mission comes from your vision, right? So it's help people achieve their goals, right? Okay, that's first and foremost. Enjoying a healthy, fulfilling life. Okay, so think about all the things you guys just said. Does that fit?
Yes.
Okay, so do you think you maybe have aligned yourself with the right company? All right, very good. So vision of helping people. What does that mean to you? You have to know what that means to you. Because if you don't know what that means to you, you can't then put that in your own vision. So you need to think about and write down maybe and start making this. We're going to kind of get into that a little bit of how writing these things down is going to be an intricate part of this. But how is it that you are going to help people? Because you just said you wanted these things that are part of your personal vision. Now you're saying that this vision of Beachbody is something that is aligned correctly with you. So how is that? How is that first portion of that? And then being committed to delivering on the vision of Beachbody with enjoying a healthy and fulfilling life. And that doesn't necessarily just mean you, right? Because we all just said you want to help people. So how do you deliver that portion of the mission within yourself? And how do you deliver it then outside of you? And so you need to think about how you can develop yourself, your vision, to develop it outside of you, okay? And then taking the total vision of the things that we hear as we continue to move forward with Beachbody. You know, Carl Deichler's original vision was, we want to be the #1 infomercial company. Did it happen? Okay. Next was, we want to develop a team of people who are out sharing the products, helping people, doing all the things that we do as UFT, as Team Beachbody. Did that happen? Okay. You think they just threw those visions out in the air and said, hey, let's do this? No, probably not, right? They were intricate about how they wrote things down, how they viewed themselves, how they could take it to the next level. So now, the next one was, let's be $1 billion company. Did it happen? Okay, so these visions are coming true. So you can take and build on that within your vision. It should be on. It says it's on.
Now,
Some of my questions are going to be.
see, they do it now.
That's really strange. Okay. Okay, so the next now we're in the portion, okay, we've hit the $1 billion as the company. Well, for those of you who are at Summit or those of you who are in Cancun, you heard Carl Deichler say the next vision is $7 billion. So taking into account what you believe and that you just stated you're aligned with the company, do you feel that that vision will come true? Okay, so,
Excuse me, I think you have to do more than just that.
okay,
I mean, you just can't build something and say, well, it's going to come true. I think you have to participate. And one is, I think that with anything that you do, you have to make it part of you, study it, become an expert in it. So then, if I do that, then I can relate that to someone else.
Yes.
If I have that enthusiasm
Yep.
and that passion.
that is absolutely true, yeah, and that's something we're gonna cover coming up, so. No, that's all right, that's all right, okay. I think we're still good.
It should be.
No, I asked
Try it again.
Rick if he's still working.
Ask him, ask
That's
him.
really good.
Some of the refresh.
Someone says they can see it?
Yeah, 'cause-
Okay.
okay, some people, yeah, same thing. If one person's-
Okay. Do we apologize if, I mean, it's getting recorded, so it will be posted again later, so. Thank you. Okay, $7 billion, but for now we're moving on. So now we got UFT vision. Okay, so to empower individuals to create a life of greater health and wealth. Does that tie in to how you feel? Okay, so that's our team. So now we've looked at the total company, now we're looking at our team. Obviously, next we're coming to us. So we're working our way in. So when you come and participate in trainings, when you come and participate in anything we have going on, or you're personally hanging out with people going hiking and things like that, canoeing, kayaking, all the other things that we go out and do, is that creating a life of greater health and wealth for you? Okay. Now, when you have that, someone's taking us all out. When you have that creation of greater health and wealth, what does that mean to you? Okay. For me, the wealth isn't just about money. The wealth is about the culture that we've created in here, which we'll get to about culture, obviously. The friendships, the personal health, that's part of the wealth. The self-development is part of the wealth. And then, of course, as you're bringing all of these things we're talking about today together, guess what's created? The financial side of that wealth, right? So we have the Beachbody side, we have the UFT side. So what is part of that vision with UFT? Well, Sue and Pete have tried to create the following, and have created the following. Cutting edge tools for us to use. That was part of their vision. You know, it may not have been part of the vision in the get-go that it needed to be done, but as we continue to move, we also know visions have to change to grow, because we have to change to grow. Leadership and education and support. You know, thinking about what's provided here, but then how do we in turn take that within our smaller teams within the team? Striving for excellence. You think we strive for excellence in here? Are you guys still awake?
Absolutely.
Okay, there we go. Thank you for getting in there, John. I like it. Pretty soon everyone's gonna be doing jumping jacks. We're gonna all do sides together or something. So, do you feel the vision in our team inspires us to be better people?
Absolutely.
Do we inspire to create more team?
Yes.
Together, do we impact the world? Do we impact the country? Do we impact the state, the city, the neighborhood, the neighbor? Okay,
Yeah.
the air. Okay, why not? We impact in every way. So does that align with the Beachbody vision? Does that align with the UFT vision? Okay. Okay, so how do those visions fit with your vision? Here's some things that you need to ask yourself. Number one, who are you? Okay, when's the last time you asked yourself that? Because guess what? Every single day we are different than we were the previous day. So my suggestion would be to kind of do that little self-evaluation, if not monthly, quarterly at least, because a lot of things change in a 3-month period. You know, and guess what? If you haven't ever done it, take that little list, create a list. Create a list that says, who am I? Okay? And then keep that list, because 3 months from now, don't look at the list, but create a list of who am I, and then compare the 2 lists, and then compare the 3 lists, and the 4 lists. Because guess what? In a year's time, that 4th list is way different than that list before. And if it's not, that could be a problem. Because then, where has the change not taken place? Where has the change that needed to take place didn't happen? That's for you to find out. That's how you keep, it's a self-evaluation. It's no different than you having a job in corporate America and they sit down with you every quarter and say, hey, we're going to evaluate what you're doing. How about evaluate what your life is? Because if you said this is your vision, and now your vision should have changed, should have evolved, but if it hasn't, then how is your personal growth happening? If your personal growth is not happening, how is the growth of your team happening or not happening? So that's why that has to be number one. You have to evaluate yourself. Number 2, what is your vision for your own personal life? You know, you all said, here's what brought me to the business. Here's the things within my life that I felt within me to help create what I wanted within the business. But again, if you don't even know where you want your life to go, how can you integrate all that together? You know, you don't have to sit down and set huge milestone dreams, but we all have things that we wanted in life. I mean, I remember things I said that I was going to have and do when I was a kid. When I became an adult, probably a fourth of those things have happened. But that's okay, because now I look at it, I'm like, no, I really didn't want 12 horses. Because I don't. I don't care, you know? But I wanted 12 horses when I was a kid, you know, or I wanted this, I had a vision of what my house was going to look like. And now I'm like, no, I really wouldn't want that. You know, so taking the time to say, and again, reevaluate. You know, maybe that one you evaluate once a year. Maybe you want to evaluate it more. But regardless, it changes. And if you aren't always reevaluating that, how can you change? How can you move yourself forward, which in turn moves your business forward? Okay? Next one. What is your vision for your finances? How many people have a budget? A written down actual budget. That you follow.
Oh, that's the word.
Okay, now look at everyone who has a written budget that they follow, raise their hands.
Because of Billy.
So your household one or your work one?
I do them both.
So you can only put your hand up halfway to give someone else.
I asked her to raise the hand for me too.
Okay, so
I like
if
my
you-
that budget.
if you don't have a written budget that you follow, you can't operate your life with a written budget and know what's coming in and out. How do you operate a business? Okay, and I didn't do a written budget for my household up until 6 years ago. One of the best decisions I ever made. Just creating that budget, all of a sudden, poof, created about an extra $1,000 in my life. Just by doing that. You know, and do things come up and it ends up sometimes you're a little here that, yeah. But it allows you to see, and guess what? When you're out purchasing something or wanting to purchase something, and you know you have to handwrite that into, well, I use a spreadsheet. Handwrite or use an Excel spreadsheet, however you're going to do it. And you know you have to take that receipt home and put it in, the decisions change. Okay? So you have to have a vision for your finances. What do you want? Do you want to, 10 years from now, still be in debt, still have credit card debt, still buying things with a credit card? Or do you want to be able to pay off debt? Do you want to be able to go, you know what, I am taking this vacation. I'm going to Laguna Beach every weekend and riding horses or doing whatever. You know, whatever it is you like to do, if you have no idea what's going on with your finances in your personal life, how can you then create a vision that says, guess what, everybody, we're gonna make some money together. Join me, but guess what? My finances at home are really screwed up. Who wants to follow that? You know, so you have to, again, what you do in your personal life carries over to your business life. Yes, Tom?
Well, I think, you know, what you're saying to me, I think that's very true. What you're talking about is becoming very disciplined. Being disciplined or being accountable to yourself,
Mhm.
so you can be accountable to.
Correct. And you need to be. Absolutely. Absolutely need to be. So for those of you watching, Carl said you need to be disciplined, and that's what it's about. It's about being disciplined. And if you look at the most successful people in business, they are very disciplined. Disciplined with time, disciplined with their life, disciplined with their money, all of those things. So what is your vision for leadership? Who do you want to be as a leader? Who do you view as somebody you would want to follow that is a leader or presents themselves as leader? Because if you don't know, you can't be a leader. You can't say, well, I'm going to be a leader today. That's what I'm going to do. Everybody follow me. This is great. Let's have a good time. And then they go, okay, how are you going to be a leader? And then what do you do in your daily personal life that shows you're a leader, which then in turn carries over? You know, if you want people to follow you, you have to be a leader. You have to be a leader within your life. You have to show people that you're willing to communicate, you're willing to create that vision. And when they can look at you and say, hey, wow, this person does do a lot of things in their personal life, and now they're saying, follow me in the business life, you know, that's a person I want to follow. They have the honesty, the integrity, all the things that you need, which is part of this disciplined life. You know, and being disciplined doesn't mean you have to not enjoy life. I mean, I'm very disciplined, I'm very regimented, I'm very scheduled. But guess what? I love what I do. I love everything I do in life. And you know what? I knew I had to get a workout in this morning. So I got up a little extra early because I also had to finish this PowerPoint presentation. There was a couple things I woke up with in my head I wanted to put together. So it just boom, boom, boom. It has to happen. But it creates that leadership. Okay? What is your vision of your career in business? You can't say, I'm going to do a business and that's it. That's not a vision. What do you want for you personally in your business and in your career? What do you want for your team within your business? What does that look like in the future? You know, how do you view yourself building that business? How do you view it on hours you're going to work, time you're going to put into it, money you're going to put into it? What does that mean to you? What does that look like? Okay? And then how and why does Beachbody and the UFT fit into those dreams? All of that, you know, we talked about both of those visions from UFT and Beachbody. So how do you now put that into the previous questions we just asked and put it all together? So the vision creates your future. If you don't have that and you don't go down these questions and then say, okay, now I've answered these questions, I bought into Beachbody, I bought into UFT because I believe in those two visions, how do I put that together? And I can't personally tell you how to put that together because that's personal. You have to figure out how to put that together. Can you ask mentors and leaders to sit down with you and say, hey, here's what I've put together. What are your thoughts? Absolutely. Because, you know, I think one of the slides I say that, you know, is have somebody review. There's nothing, if you have somebody that's a leader or mentor to you, say, hey, you know what, you're a leader or mentor to me, we look at this. Is there things that you see that I could tweak or what I could do to make myself better? Or make this vision a little bit better? Because I want to be the best leader for my team. Okay? You can move on from that. So yeah, feedback, rewrite, share with people. Make sure they're clear and concise and specific with your vision and thoughts. Okay. So to succeed in your business, you need your vision. You have to know where your business is going to go. So you need the ability to see the future. You know, you don't have a crystal ball, but guess what? If you're going through those questions, we did now, you're creating that vision for the future. So you have that ability to see farther than hey, I'm gonna get up and work a business tomorrow. Clear mental picture of where you want to go, your ability to keep your eye on the prize. We all know this business and every business in life has the high highs, the middle, and the low lows. But ultimately, keeping your eye on that prize, that's where a vision board comes in. And taking those answers that you just had and some things that you want for your future, creating that vision board. And regardless of missteps and failures, you know that's the prize. Because guess what? Missteps are simply stepping stones. Failures are stepping stones. Those are opportunities, your fork in the road that says, today I have a decision. If I like where I ended up, the decision is to stay. If I don't like where I ended up, what do I need to evaluate and change? Because with everything in life, the only thing we really can't choose is our genetic makeup and our parents and our family. That's really it. Because everything else in our life is a choice. You choose this path. If you like it, great. If you don't, you got to change. If you choose this path, you have a fork in the road. Everything is a choice. You can choose to put food in your mouth that you shouldn't necessarily put in your mouth, like ice cream.
I'm sorry.
And then your friends can choose to listen to your ice cream or not.
You didn't have to get any, I'm just saying.
But anyway, everything you have is a choice. So you do need to know that those failures and missteps don't mean, okay, well, let's just throw in the towel and walk away. My vision clearly doesn't work. This sucks. That's not what it's about. It's about, wow, that sucks today. What can I do tomorrow to make it different? And we all have those days. And guess what? If you're the leader, the people under you are going to come to you and say, hey, this sucks today. I need to make a change. What can I do? And that's what you want. You want those people to come to you, right? And then you, in turn, know who your leader is, so you can come to that person too. And you can say, you know what? I really want to throw in the towel today. This sucks. What can I do to change it? And the people that are showing themselves as leaders, you're going to know who those are. You're going to feel comfortable walking up to them. And they, in turn, are also going to come to you and check in on you, because that's what leaders do. Okay? Understanding the vision will take time, but ultimately will lead you to your goals. Vision creates focus and clarity. Vision creates or leads you to discipline, which we discussed, the discipline portion. And then it also provides you motivation. Okay, so taking that vision, Beachbody's vision, how it fits with you, UFT's vision, how it fits with you, your personal vision, and bringing it all together, that's going to create those three things. It's going to create some clarity, it's going to create some motivation, and it's going to create some discipline. And if you struggle in any of those areas, then you go to that other leader. Okay, so we have the vision. Good? Oh yeah, there you go.
Backing up to the top one, the ability to see farther than you are.
Mhm.
The best way to predict the future is to create it.
Sure.
Have a plan laid out, don't just throw a dart where I want to.
Absolutely. Yep, you got to choose it. So, thank you. All right, culture. The growth mindset is an organization's competitive advantage to success. What does that mean? Okay, everybody stand up. Everybody put your arms over their head. Everybody take 2 deep breaths. All right, now you can sit back down. So what does that mean? Growth mindset is an organization's competitive advantage to success. What does that mean to you?
If your mind isn't set on growing, then you're not going to be successful.
Okay, anybody else? That's good. That is part of that. Nothing?
Having the whole organization move along with everybody together.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, on that subject, since I'm a visual person, right?
Mhm.
See,
That's why I made the slideshow.
Okay.
So I was thinking yesterday, I have to make this for Carl because I know he's a visual person.
So my visual reality is this man right here.
Okay, and that's good.
It's because, being a visual person, I have to see something to really, to want to do something.
Mhm.
And so when I see this man, talking, and I know him personally, and we do things together and we talk.
Mhm.
So I can see that. I've had experience working for Fortune 500 companies, And the president of the company never came down to me and said, follow me. This is what you're going to do.
And that rarely happens in
Yeah,
companies like that. And we have that, absolutely.
we have that.
And I would say just, the growth mindset is just, organization, you know, all just being on the same page.
Yes.
You know, some of those, that, as you talked about the vision, so we have a roadmap.
Absolutely.
People,
Definitely have to have a roadmap.
Yeah, you know, your brain's a very powerful thing, and whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Absolutely.
So, you know, it's that law of attraction
Yes.
as well, very much so. Because so someone can tell you something and you can think negatively or positively, and it's what you think that affects your future.
Absolutely. Yeah, because ultimately I could stand up here and tell you all this information, you guys go, yeah, okay, let's go. Who's having breakfast with me, you know? And so absolutely, it is that. So to have a high performance team, you must build a strong culture within the team to create the core of your business. Okay, the core of your business. Because if you don't have that culture, you can have all the vision you want, but if people aren't thinking about what they want. So if I walked in here this morning and I had so I sleep in boxer shorts and either a t-shirt or a tank top, okay? So if I walked in here this morning, they're all messy, boxer shorts and a tank top, and said, all right, I'm gonna present to you. What kind of culture does that represent?
You're relaxed.
I don't hear it. Okay, but lazy, yeah, you know, exactly. Or maybe I don't really care about talking to you guys. Maybe I don't really care about this training. You know, and so culture also comes, you know, creating that culture is the core. So the culture isn't just about what you talk about or what you verbally put out there. It's what you put on your Facebooks. It's what you bring into this office. If you come late every time, what kind of culture is that set? If you come dressed as if you just came out of a coal mine and didn't care to get dressed, not that there's anything wrong with people who work in coal mines, you know, but that's the thing is when you come here, you're representing the business, you're representing your business. You're representing the UFT, you're representing Beachbody. So everything you do when you're at a restaurant, if you're walking around completely drunk every time you're at a restaurant, what is that setting up is your culture. You know, people see that. And your culture carries out to who you're speaking to, who you're inviting into your team. So you have to think about everything you do as representing the culture to which you want in your business. Okay, so it has to be the core. Create a culture that recognizes and embraces shared values of your business, services and products, attitudes, standards, and beliefs that characterize the goals of the organization and the team. So a culture that recognizes and embraces all that. So if you're recognizing and embracing the services and products, are you a product of your product? Yes. Or do you just go, yeah, I work out every once in a while. You know, do you do anything else? No, I just pretty much sit at home. Do you ever go hiking? Do you ever do anything? Does your team ever do anything? You guys get together? You know, all those things are a part of that. So, and then attitude, standards, beliefs. So if you say one thing and do another, if you tell your team, you know what, I'm here to help you, I will step up, I'm gonna reach out to you on a weekly basis, and then you just don't do that stuff, what kind of culture is that setting for your team? Because you know what, guess what, we're all upline coaches. We have a downline. If you're not setting that precedence and you're saying that precedence when you bring someone into your business and then you don't do it, what's that culture? It's not. It's not, because I can guarantee you, you're gonna be like, screw you. Not gonna talk to you. Why would I do that? You know? Because you said, here's what I'm gonna do, and then you didn't do it. So that's part of your culture, and it's understanding that. And again, taking your vision, because you're saying what your vision is, you now have to implement that into your culture. So if you don't have the vision, and you can't implement it, or you have the vision, and then you fail to implement it, the culture of your team will fall apart. Guess what? Then people on the team aren't doing anything.
That's just like parenting.
It is just like parenting. You are absolutely correct.
This game, you better do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just like parenting. It's that accountability factor right there. Absolutely. Very good analogy for that. believe in vision of your company, the vision of your team, and the vision of yourself. We pretty much covered that already. You have to have all three of those, which is exactly what I say right here with these. 3 things that help establish that culture for your team, and it makes that a part of their business and personal lives. So how do you get these 3 things? Well, first off, you need to know that vision and culture. But in turn, then how do you create a team that has that? Well, you need to find people that believe in your culture and your vision. And you have to be able to create a way to verbally articulate that with passion and with drive. Because if you walk up and I go, hey, Noelle, you want to be a part of my team? I have this vision. We're going to make a lot of money. We're going to go really far. And yeah. He's going to go, you know, versus if I say, you know what, we have an amazing team within UFT, which is part of Beachbody. They're a $1 billion company, have amazing products. I've never seen products like this before. You know, we're building this team with all these new social media aspects and all this stuff we can do to really blow up our business. I want you to be a part of my team because I'm telling you, you got to get into this position. It's amazing. Does that sound a lot better? Okay, so you need to have that. You need to look for people, but you have to be able to articulate. And if you're just walking up to, like there's a guy yelling at dirt outside today, out front, he was yelling at the dirt, you know. If I walked up to him, do you think he's gonna buy into my culture and my vision?
No.
Probably not, you know, so.
But it makes an opportunity.
So having that mindset, that the team is just that, is, you know, these things, having that mindset that your team can be these things versus my team's just a bunch of random people that I found. Totally 2 different things, totally 2 different cultures, correct? I have a team that I know that I've sought out, that I want to work with, that want to work with me because they believe in what I have established and what I'm providing them. Or I just have a bunch of people that are kind of like, yeah, okay, let's do this. Just even me saying it, that's totally 2 different things. So you want to provide that culture, okay? So 7 things that you can utilize to help you get that culture. First one we just discussed, recruitment. Recruitment of people that fit your vision, which then in turn is going to help create their vision, right? That fits your culture. So recruitment, number 1, think about that when you're thinking about your culture. Number 2, orientation. If on the very first day you don't set the tone of what your culture is, there is no culture. You have to set that tone. You can't say, hey, welcome to my team. You know, but if you set the culture of welcome to my team, everything else you want to say, whether it's in person or via email, if that email is the most ungodly, boring email that person reads, you set that culture. You have to build that vision and culture into the email, into the conversation. If it's not set the first day, the culture will not last. It will, A, deteriorate the culture you've established if that person comes in, but it's definitely not going to have that person last in your business. So orientation. Training. Your training should be motivational, inspirational, and informational. If it's not providing them the training and tools they need, they can't have the culture because they don't even know what they're doing. So you need to have that established. And fortunately for our team, Sue and Pete have created that website that provides those training things. But in turn, you can't just say, go to the training website, call me in a month. It's, hey, guess what? We have this great training website. Watch the welcome video, get signed up, watch the second welcome video in there that shows you everything else, and you're going to start basic training, and I'm going to touch base with you. Your goal, let's set up a goal. Your goal is to finish basic training in the next 4 days. I mean, ultimately, they should be able to do it. It literally takes an hour of time to watch the 12 videos that are in there, or whatever it is. It's very little time. But you're setting that precedence, and you're setting that training so it's moving forward. And that's your responsibility if you want to culture people that will work with you and for you. Okay? Communication. Communication has to be clear, concise, and consistent. This needs to be 2 ways. So if you're not happy with something, you go to that person and say, I'm happy. You don't ignore them. You don't post on Facebook some passive aggressive crap, okay? You go to them. That's what it's about. It's two-way communication. So it's, I'm going to communicate with you because you're my leader, and I have something that I want to say, and the leader then in turn communicates them. Clear, concise communication. And guess what? It doesn't always have to be positive communication. If you're unhappy about something, say you're unhappy about something. Don't be like, well, I'm just not going to talk to Noel. Forget that. You know, he pissed me off, so I'm not going to do that. No, you want to talk. You know, it needs to be both ways, because if the person that's doing the passive aggressive posting or not talking to somebody and not doing it, guess what that does? Puts negativity into the culture, starts staring down the culture. You can't have it. It has to be both ways. Okay? Recognition and rewards. Recognize the people within your team. If somebody moves their business to Emerald, Ruby, Diamond, hits Success Club 50, whatever it be, recognize that. You know, I know, we posted this past week, because I guess the month ended and started the new month. You know, in our coach group, or with my team, just the people that hit Success Club. You know, and you know, Danielle, you hit Success Club for the first time in a very long time. You know, it's that culture changing, and here you're recognized, and she was like, oh my God, hey, you know, and that's what's cool about it, you know, and so recognizing that. Or when Sue and Pete call up new diamonds of the group and those types of things. Those are, you know, just little things, you know, or Andy, you just went Ruby, and I know we had somebody else, I think, in here. Did somebody else in here? Having somebody on their team that.
Rob.
Yeah. And so just those little things, and it means a lot. Though you might think, wow, this is kind of a good picture of Ruby than somebody else, you know, but it means a lot to the person. And so having those rewards and recognition continue to bring that culture up. All right, so leadership. I gotta pick up my pace here. So leadership can be hard to define, and it means different things to different people. I actually posted this in my coach group the other day. And in the transformational leadership model, leaders set direction and help themselves and others to do the right thing or things to move forward. To do this, they create an inspiring vision and then motivate and inspire others to reach that vision. Another pretty big statement, huh? So, as a leader, you don't have to discount what you want out of your business. You don't have to discount what you want at all within the culture. But you're able to balance what you want and what you want for the others of your team, which creates the leadership. Okay, so if you're able to balance both of those, you're moving yourself forward and you're moving the team forward. You can't give up on your own things, but you can't let your team flounder either. So you have to marry it and create a balance, okay? A leader represents the organization. So obviously, the CEOs of Beachbody represent Beachbody. Sue and Pete represent the UFT. Each of you in your own teams, are you representing your team? Are you that leader? That's what you need to ask yourselves. Integrates their personal goals into the goals of the organization. So, we all have our personal goals. We then have to marry those with the goals of our team, then have to marry those with the goals of UFT, then have to marry those with the goals of Beachbody. It's a lot of marrying, a whole lot of marrying, but for you to reach your personal goals, you have to do that. So you have to find that balance. That's what leaders do. Leaders find that balance. Leaders are able to step up, find the balance within the whole organization. And part of that, part of that is being here. Leaders show up to these things because that's finding that balance. We all know we have things going on, but those who are coming Wednesday nights, those who are coming on Saturdays, that shows who the leaders are. That shows, you know what, I have a lot of things in my personal life that I want to accomplish and go do, but I need to balance the organization, which in turn then balances the entire company. It balances it in the entire company, correct? Okay, solicit support. Leaders ask for support from others. Okay, so if you need that help, you ask. And then even your people that are in your downline, they obviously have people to lead, so they in turn are going to solicit for that support as well. And so it really kind of is 360 encompassing, because everybody, if you're soliciting that support and asking and sharing and doing those things, you're creating that leadership. Leadership is also a friend, a philosopher, and a guide. Okay, so it kind of goes back to our vision. with the philosophy, the guide, you're there to mentor. I know I had a conversation with one of my coaches and we planned on talking for about a half hour yesterday. It ended up being about an hour and a half, but that's okay. It was a great conversation. And it's reestablishing some goals and things that we have to do, and so being able to take that time. And I do power calls with my team every week. And if they don't step up to take the calls, well, that's on them. They're still there, my time frames are still there, but I do it every week because it provides them that right there. The call ended up being some stuff about friendship. The call ended up being about business, and all those things. So creating that creates leadership. And believe in the vision with an unwavered passion. Unwavered. So unwavered, what does that mean to you? I know for me it means that if this is the vision, even when I'm having a crappy day, the vision is still there, and 99% of the people I come in contact with will know that I'm not having a crappy day, and that's an unwavered vision. Okay? I may have the conversation with them later, they find out I have, but first and foremost, that's what they get, because that's what helps build the business. So, 4 pillars of leadership. You have strategic vision and adaptation. So this is creating a vision. This is a pillar, leader going back to the vision again. You got to be able to create it. Knowing when to make changes to that vision and having the ability to verbally articulate the vision to your team. Okay? Because as we said before, when we were talking about vision can never be a stagnant thing that's my vision. It has to be constantly changing. If you're a leader, you have the ability to see when it needs to change and then how it's going to change. Now, do you make all the decisions on how it changes? Sometimes yes, but sometimes no, and you maybe have to have opinions of others to then go, okay, here's what I'm hearing from my team. Now I can implement changes that need to be happening. But it has to happen that way. You have to have that, pillar number 1. Pillar number 2 is inspirational, optimistic, always carrying a positive can-do attitude. It's kind of what we just talked about a second ago. Being inspirational to all, leaders' success should be made to create greater purpose of the group, team, organization, so they can see it as something they can get behind. Okay? So, team, group, organization. So again, going back to your vision, you have to know your purpose. When you know that purpose, you can now portray that through creating that ability to show your optimism, show your inspiration, and your team's going to buy into what you're doing. Challenge but provide support. If I'm not challenging my team, what happens? What happens? Right, yes, there's no growth. If you're not putting challenges out there, there's no growth. So set those challenges. I'm going to use you again as an example. Danielle was struggling with getting to Success Club, and I said, it's not a struggle, you just need to do it. I'm challenging you to make it happen come hell or high water. And guess what? She did it. Okay? And I put challenges out to my team all the time. I'm like, hey, here's what we're going to do. If you do that, I give out prizes periodically. Sometimes I'm like, you're going to get to go to dinner. We're going to go to Vinder's Grill or downtown or wherever. And when I say downtown, you just strip. Not at Fremont Street. So my team knows we're not going to Fremont Street. But taking that and challenging them. Because if you're not challenging them, but in turn, ask your team to challenge you. Or ask your sponsoring coach to challenge you. Or find somebody to align yourself that will challenge you. Because you have to be challenged, because we all know, especially those who have played sports, when you have that challenge, you're a track runner and that guy is a second faster than you, what are you going to do? You're going to push harder, right? Exactly. We all like to get medals and awards, right? All right, listen to the team. Take the team's thoughts and concerns into consideration when making the decisions on the direction of the team. Now, necessary? Yes. Does that always mean that those opinions and thoughts will be taken into consideration? No. And if they're not, as a team member, should you be upset? No, not necessarily. Because if you truly buy into the vision and what your leader does, then there shouldn't be a reason you're upset about something. Change is a good thing. You have to have it. And whether you agree with it, there's things, I've had many different jobs in my life, I've done many different things, and there's many times that I have not agreed with the direction. But guess what? I still bought into the direction and I still did it. And that's what you gotta do. Because when you do that, guess what? You're now growing and learning. It happens regardless. So other qualities of a good leader. The ability to delegate. Don't be afraid to delegate things. You know, there's a lot of times we get into this, we're like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. And all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, I'm overwhelmed. Delegate to people. If you know somebody's good at challenge groups and that's what they like to do, and you don't really like to do that, but you feel like you have to do them, let that person run all your challenge groups. Or if you know somebody really likes to type up something that your team does, guess what? Let them type it up, you know? And as the person getting those tasks, to keep your culture alive, you want to make sure you accomplish them. Communication also makes a good leader. Again, the ability to articulate all aspects. And that is about the people within your organization, the training, the business. You need to know those things. You need to be able to articulate those things. If you can't tell someone that's part of your team what's going on in your business, that's a problem. You have to be able to articulate all aspects. Okay, that's what leaders do. Competence. You have to have confidence within yourself, within others, and within your team. Again, if I walked up here and I was like, okay, I'm giving a presentation today, and let me stand over here, and I really don't, that doesn't exude confidence to you, you know? I have to come up here and say, hey, this is what we're doing today, okay? And confidence when you meet new people, because guess what? You know about the products, you know about the business, so why are you walking up to somebody and saying, hey, do you want to lose weight? I have like this thing I can show you. What are you afraid of? What are they going to do? They aren't going to do anything. Versus, hey, you told me you wanted to lose weight. I really want to check this. I want you to check this out. I'm going to send you some information today, and then we're going to talk about it. Cool? Cool. All right. You know, people, if she doesn't like it when I come up to her and say that, guess what? She's either just going to look at me and be like, yeah, okay. Or she's going to walk away. She's not going to bite you. She's not going to punch you. So be confident. If she does punch you, she's a jerk, right? And commitment. Have a commitment to yourself, a commitment to your team, a commitment to the business, commitment to hard work. Nothing in life that is worth achieving comes for free. Nothing. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay? So if you have that commitment, now your leadership goes back to your culture, which brings in your vision. It's all one big circle. That's what we're talking about all of them today, right? So have that commitment. Have a thought of creativity. Nothing comes without creativity. You might be going down a path and you're saying, yep, this is the way it's going to go, and all of a sudden it's not going. So what do? You don't just go, well, it doesn't work. We're done. It's over. No, it's called let's be creative. What can we do? And you don't have to come up with all the creativity. That's where your team comes in. Be creative. Have mastermind sessions. A mastermind session can be at a coffee shop, discussing a book, and then having it carry over to your business. It can be whatever, but getting creative about things you can do to build your business, to create more of a market. You know, the whole thing of we have nobody else to talk to is a bunch of crap. We all know that. So if you have hit that roadblock, guess what? It's time for that creativity. Let's figure out what we need to do. Intuition. If you are a leader, you're able to lead your group even in uncharted waters. You have to have intuition. So if you see something that you're like, well, I'm not sure where this is going, what do? You have to be able to lead that team. But then you also have to have the intuition to go, this is not a good path. I need to tell my team and we need to change. Because if you send them over that cliff, you're not a leader. You have to know that intuition and be confident within your intuition to make those changes. And regardless, again, going back to you, your team may not always agree, but that's okay. Because at that moment, you felt that that was the best decision. You just need to be able to articulate that your team believes in that intuition, right? Ability to inspire and the ability to admit when mistakes are made or failures happen. If you can't own up and take responsibility for every action that you do within yourself and your business, that's something you need to reevaluate. You know, if I make a decision for my team, I apologize if it doesn't work out. And I have done that. Actually, we were coming back from Nashville. There were some people sitting behind me that were on our team. And I stood up and was talking to them. And I said, I am sorry for. Because it was something that I was not doing, that I should have been doing, or I was doing, and I kind of went off board with doing that. And I did that. I stood up with them. And I had those conversations. And I've said that on Google Hangouts I've done with my team. Here are things that I stepped away from that I should not have. That is bad leadership. I apologize for that. So own those things. That is a part of being a leader. All right, so let's put this all together. 12 signs you have vision, culture, and leadership within your team. Number 1, people. Don't talk to me, and they go the other way. That's big clue. So number 1 on the list. Number 2, turnover or inactive members is low. You know, if people want to stay with your team, guess what? You probably have the culture, the leadership, and the vision. If people don't, it's time for some evaluation. Top leaders are not insecure about upcoming leaders. This has to be very important because we all know we can all out-earn each other. We can all be better than the person that brought you in. So who cares? You know, you should be celebrating that. Kudos to that person. You know, and guess what? If they're passing you up, you probably can learn from them. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. And when we go back to communication, two-way communication, you should go to them and say, hey, you're passing me up even though I'm your leader, and I'd like to know what you're doing because this is kind of cool. Right? Okay. No childish behavior or gossip. That again goes back to the two-way conversations, you know. We're all adults. Let's act like it. Let's act like it, you know, and have those conversations. There's nothing wrong, you know. Everyone's so afraid of confrontation and, oh, I don't want to upset this person, or I don't. It's a conversation. You know, simple conversations change a lot of things. Lateral leadership is outstanding. Lateral leadership means what?
Being helpful to somebody else.
Yes, exactly. So if Noel and I are on the same team, I'm willing to get in the trenches and do it with him. And he in turn does the same. You aren't afraid to do what needs to be done with your team. Even Stephen, exactly. Lateral leadership. Team members are energized, team members are energized by the mission and vision. Again, make that happen. Get your people excited that they're a part of your team. Get the people excited about the mission and vision, because when you all are, it carries out to people you talk to that you want a part of your business. It carries into your people that are in your business, carries into your personal life. No humdrum. Create it. It's not just a job. When you're creating that leadership, that culture, and that vision, it makes it more fun. It does. Even on the bad days, it makes it more fun. The team knows they are as important as the vision and the mission. Your vision has to be important. The mission has to be important. Your team has to be important. If you haven't made your team feel important, you need to. You need to do it. They need to be as important as what you're trying to accomplish. For those of you who were at Summit, did you feel important when you were there, even if you weren't the person that was called up on stage? Yeah, you did. Because you knew you were part of something greater that you believed in, and they made you feel important. Okay? That's what you got to do. That's what we try to do in here every day. People are smiling. If your team's not smiling and they're all walking around like a bunch of zombies, and they're just like, yeah, I'm part of this team, or everybody, or when you walk in this door, if this is how you're walking in with your team, another Wednesday night meeting, another Saturday training, you got to be smiling. You know, even if you're tired, you got to be smiling. You know, I had a whole bunch of stuff going on at my house this week with a big major problem, and I had to get up at 4 o'clock every morning to go train people. I got 3 to 4 hours of sleep every single night this week, and that was it. But if I walked in at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning to train people, and that's how I walked in, who would want a personal train with me? Wouldn't happen, exactly. So regardless if I'm dog tired, hey, we're here to train. It's going to be a good day. You're going to do it, okay? There is no fear. There's no fear about the leaders coming up, passing me by. There's no fear on what direction you're going because you know there's no fear. You feel comfortable. You feel comfortable in everything your team is doing because you bought into it, because you have good leaders, because you're creating good leadership, because you are a good leader. You have a vision and you have a mission. And communication is strong. We've just hit that many times. It has to be. If I say, hey team, I'm leading you and I never talk to you again, I have no team. You have to communicate. You have to pick up the phone, send a message. I mean, there's a zillion ways you can contact somebody now. You know, before it was one thing and it was a telephone and you had to hope it wasn't busy. But now you have every social media platform you can contact someone through. I mean, heck, people can call you through Facebook. And that's just weird. You know? Yeah, on your watch, you're like, hey, how's it going? You know, really. You can be out jogging and still talk to people. So we're doing your size thing, you know? Change is welcomed by all team members. You have to embrace the change. Because if we're not changing, we're not growing. It has to happen all the time. And every single day that goes by, your business is changing. Your life is changing. You can either sit back and deny it, or you can embrace it. But you need to welcome it and embrace it if you want to grow as a person and grow as a business. So, be a leader. Have your actions and vision inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more. Because it will make a better future for you. That's what you guys need to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed the training today. Lots of good information.